Good evening. It's Kinninigan. This is an article I had bookmarked. I've had it bookmarked for about a month. Um, Almost forgot about it. Tracing the origins of the powerful serpent cult. And I always like to see what the mainstream, I call it mainstream. It's still this is ancient origins. Um, Tell you one thing I found at this website recently. I don't know if they're still working at the website or not, but apparently one of the writers was woke. I should have bookmarked it, but they wrote this kind of very. It wasn't even like feminist. It was like a woke feminist article about women and gods, and it was just. I should have bookmarked it. I was like, wow. And the reason I'm telling you that is because the same thing happens with reptilians. Now, if you're not familiar with my research, yeah, I do have theories that are quite different from what you hear a lot in the alternative media. Uh, I teach that real alpha draconians are avian. There is a lot of conversations being spread around the internet about reptilians, but I've been pretty consistent with my information, and I am working on a book. I will also leave a link in the description to a documentary I made. Now, this was a article that was written, and I read it and scored it to music and put pictures to it. And this actually deals with the dragon and serpent gods of ancient mythology. So some of the things that we're going to read in this article here. It also starts out with a story from the Bible that is often cut out of the Bible, dealing with Moses and the Exodus, and that is when Moses actually constructs a bronze serpent, which was worship of the reptilian Ajiji god Enki. Enki is an Ajiji god. I have a whole chapter in my book about the difference between the Anunnaki and the Ajiji, as per my research, and what's actually written on cuneiform tablets. So anyway, please share, like, subscribe. If you could support the channel, I do not put ads on my videos. We don't want the YouTube staff reviewing my videos for monetization review. My channel is good right now, no strikes. I'm getting subscribed. It's going. This is my 10th YouTube channel. At one time, I had 65,000 subs, and when you have that many subs, you tend to do a little bit better financially, obviously, right? So any support would be helpful. I always need cat food, cigarettes, and I think I give some of the best commentary on the subject of reptilians. So, although I talked about it. Maybe I'll make a video tomorrow about that. I kind of narrowed down. I told people I might start doing affiliate links on my channel, and I said if I did, it's going to have to be a small American, made in America company, and it can't. Someone sent me a link for cannabis infused soda. I can't do that. Nothing to do with pharmaceuticals. Nothing to do with recreational anything. No alcohol. No tobacco. You have the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So let's scratch that off the list. We do not want to be breaking the RICO Act and get us swatted. Um, so, something that I could get behind, which I'm looking into, is either coffee or candy, like chocolate. Why? Because why not? And that would just be for affiliate links. I've got to have my eggs in a lot of baskets. So if you can donate to the channel, I have Cash App, PayPal, Vemno, Stripe, Buy Me a Coffee. I also have Patreon and Locals where I post videos that I cannot put on YouTube, including Babylonian Talmud and my lecture on Aleister Crowley and sex magic. And I can't put that one on YouTube again because it tells you the Luciferian origins of transgenderism. That's all I'm going to say. Tied in with Aleister Crowley's sex magic. And I also theorized that Aleister Crowley played Barbara Bush later in life and he extended his life using something known as trans-Yugothian magic. And yeah, it gets kind of complex. So any support would be appreciated. Now, this is typically what I tell. This is from DH77, very talented illustrator who is helping me with the pictures for my book. This is kind of, and she's going by kind of what my description of what an Alpha Draconian would look like. Yes, it reminds you, and this was intentional, of maybe a cross between the alien Alf and the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. Obviously, they don't look exactly like the Skeksis. All 12 of the Skeksis in the original Dark Crystal looked different. They had different types of bird beaks. One of them, though, had a short little fat snout. And that's kind of, they have a beak, but not like a bird beak. And this is more like the beak you saw on the alien Alf. And yes, they are more avian. The closest thing we have in which you will see on Göbekli Tepe, there are actually vultures. Mainstream can't figure out why. This is probably because the closest thing to an Alpha Draconian in nature that we have would be a turkey vulture. And before they made our symbol the reptilian eagle for our country, just like Rome and the Nazis, follow the eagle is another lecture I did. Benjamin Franklin, big occultist, he was in the Hellfire Club and he was a Mason, was going to make our national logo for the United States a turkey. I kid you not. Then the idea was rejected, and they decided to go with an eagle. And he didn't want to go with an eagle because he said it wasn't a noble bird. It preyed on injured mice and rodents. That's exactly how Alpha Draconians operate. So they don't like to have bad press about them. They're not alpha predators. They are parasites. Their whole source of power is mainly social engineering through the occult and secret societies. That's how they gain most of their power. So, in the alternative media, a lot of people you have talking about reptilians are also people in secret societies or Luciferians who are worshiping or engaged in serpent worship. Going back to the serpent cults that we're going to read about. Now, just look, this popped up in my feed. I didn't watch it, but I don't need to. Michael Jaco and Alex Collier have a podcast there about reptilians posted within the past day here at Rumble. First of all, you do not need to be at Rumble to talk about reptilians. I never got a community guideline strike on a video about reptilians. Only one. And that was the reptilian video I had made about Joe Biden because I put a bunch of clips in there, including the one about You Ain't Black, how they rigged the 2020 election, and I don't know. I might have had that clip in there with him talking about the roaches on his blonde hair at the pool with roaches and yeah. So they gave me a community guideline straight for that video because Biden was running for president. It's the only reason they give a shit. But I never got strikes over reptilian videos. They'll put the Wikipedia link under this video. You'll notice that. But every time I hear stuff in the alternative media, it's the same. And I know what for the past 4 years it's been there in Dumbs and Underground City. Look, I never talked about Dumbs. I don't talk about Planet Nibiru coming back because it never did. So certain subjects I just don't talk about because the real source of the power for Alpha Draconians is their secret societies. So how are you going to have people in secret societies exposing reptilians that they're engaged in their black magic and serpent worship? When you become a 33-degree Mason, you go to something called the Serpent's Temple. Now, are either of these two gentlemen a Mason? I don't know. They could be, maybe not. Are they Luciferians? Maybe, maybe not. But the information that they don't ever describe what they look like accurately, or they go with this idea that they're in dumbs, an underground military. No. Is genetic engineering going on within the government? Yeah, it absolutely is, and we even have proof of that with the Montauk monster. Montauk monster. You'll notice MM, Master Mason. That's not a coincidence. Yeah, this is at Montauk Island where they tried to say it was a raccoon with some type of disease, and it's bullshit. But the Montauk monster strangely had a beak. So yeah, there could be some genetic engineering going on in places like Area 51 and Dulce, but that was not a raccoon. Is this some type of Alpha Draconian hybrid that they were experimenting with? Possibly, because it seems to have a beak. Yeah, that's a dead lizard. The mystery of Montauk. Everything is a mystery with mainstream. They don't know anything. You can't tell you what Alpha Draconians really look like. And by the way, if you go to my YouTube channel, the trailer on my channel is the Yusef Estes shapeshift video where you actually see a real Alpha Draconian. There are a lot of people in the alternative media that will talk about reptilians all day. They act like they don't know who I am. They do. I'm not in their little clubs or cliques, and that's fine. I don't care. I just continue to. I'm independent, which, in all honesty, I think makes me a better source of information. I'm only supported by my subs. I'm not subsidized by Klaus Schwab, the WEF, or the CIA. Just saying. So anyway, it's my kind of introduction there to what Alpha Draconians actually look like. I don't know what's written in this article. Hold on, I gotta find my reading glass. I have reading glasses. Yes, I do. I gotta clean them off. I haven't worn them in a while. I've been listening to audiobooks instead of actually reading Game of Thrones, but that's fine. That's what I've been doing in my free time because the news anymore every day it's just we're getting bombarded with that's another weapon they use, propaganda and gossip. So yeah, here's some more depictions. This is in the article. This is one of the Anunnaki known as Shizga, and you'll notice that this entity here proving was my theory of how they actually look. Yes, you'll see the intertwined serpents, the snake, and then you have this creature over here who has wings, scales, chicken-looking feet, and a beak. It has a beak, and that's kind of how the Montauk monster looks, and kind of like this. And the depictions of the Anunnaki also shows entities with eagles' heads on them. And the reason why this image is mirrored is to do with the occult duality, as above, so below. So you'll see a lot of these. That's why the image is mirrored. I don't think one is male and one is female. Actual Alpha Draconians are androgynous. They do not have male and female in their species. So they are incapable of family units and love, and it's one of the reasons why they despise us and they attack the nuclear family like they're doing now. So anyway, I'll also put this link in the description. I'll put the link to this is a 40-minute video if you want to watch it. It's scored to music. In all honesty, when my YouTube channel used to be monetized, this was way before the crackdown. Back in the day, before Susan Wojcicki, well, she ain't around anymore. Before she took over YouTube, when you could make videos and just put them on YouTube, and as long as you didn't have like violence or anything like that in it, it was fine. You could monetize it, and your videos made money. It was a real simple concept. Because this video right here took me 2 days to make. because of all the pictures. It's all scored to music. I added some effects to the sound on my voice, reverb, and all that. And I would love to go back to making videos like that, but it's hard. They are an investment of time and money. Well, time really. So, but I do have a lot of these videos salvaged, and I will get more of them back onto my channel. So I'll put that link in there and the link to this website here. And yeah, if you're interested, I always see what's going on with the alternative media. I don't know what they're going to talk about. They got 70 days left before the election, so I guess the 10 days of darkness and all that shit ain't whatever. Doesn't matter. If we don't, if the Illuminati are still here at the end of the day, it does not matter. They use humans. They don't care about any of them. I don't care how, if you think you're special, whether you're a 33-degree Mason or you're a YouTube reptilian researcher like me, you're hated just the same. They'll just use you accordingly and dispose of you when they no longer need you. That's how they and humans need to realize that. I think they are starting to slowly. Okay. Oh, there we go. You can also listen to this article.
Don't miss the latest historical news and updates. Take ancient origins with you wherever you go.
Yeah, they have a so you can play the articles when you come here. Tracing the origins of the powerful serpent cult. In mythology, the serpent symbolizes fertility and procreation, wisdom, death, and resurrection. Due to the shedding of its skin, which is not akin to rebirth. And in the earliest schools of mysticism, the symbol of the word was the serpent. The light that appeared was metaphorically defined as a serpent called Kundalini, coiled at the base of the spine to remain dormant in an unawakened person. Divinity or awakening one's godhood and latent abilities came with the rituals and teachings brought by the serpent people. There's also a documentary here, The Serpent Cult Origins, Secret Societies. I don't know. Whenever a documentary puts secret societies, they only tend to just talk about the Masons, like they're the only one. There's a lot more. Oh, that is the bronze serpent that Enki made. I mean, not Moses made. And in any depictions of the movies you see of Exodus and when Moses flees Egypt, they never put that part of the story in. It's like it's in the Bible, but they act like it doesn't exist because it symbolizes not only idolatry, it symbolized reptilian serpent worship in the Old Testament. That is covered in great detail in this documentary right here. In fact, it's the first chapter of the documentary Reptilians in the Bible in the Old Testament. On that. So, yeah, I've covered that. The serpentine origins of humanity. To understand them, we must look at the original serpents. In China, it was male and female pair with human heads and serpent bodies named Fuji and Nuwa. I'm probably not saying that correctly. Who created humans. In Sumer, it was the Anunnaki Ninkersag and her husband Enki who were given the task of creating workers. That is actually wrong. The Ajiji create the Anunnaki, and the Ajiji who does that is actually Marduk. Like I said, I like to read these articles just to see what they're saying, but at least they're writing about reptilians, right? We can debate about the mythology all we want because it is kind of hard to get the correct answers for, but a lot of people tend to use what was taught by Zechariah Stitchin, known Freemason, and he's muddied the waters on it so much that no one knows what the difference between the Ajiji and the Anunnaki are. Or, Enki is known to us as the serpent in Genesis, the one who gave us the ability to think and reason, and was so cursed by his brother Enlil for it. Enlil is not actually Enki's brother, per se. He's one of the Agigi. There are 12 Agigi gods. Marduk is one of them, Enlil, Enki, and they are all created by a dragon queen who's talked about in the Enuma Elish, known as Mummu Tiamat, who bore them all, and they operate like a hive mentality. Like you have a queen bee, that would be Mummu Tiamat, and then you have the Agigi, who would be like the 12 generals, and then you. And the generals and the legions is the same way their demonic armies are broken up also. You have 72 high level demons in the Lesser Key of Solomon who all control lesser demons. It's the same thing with the Agigi and the Anunnaki. They rule the occult and black magic and demonology, so it's all tied in together. To the Hindus, it was the cosmic serpent Ananta who created us. So, if at the dawn of man's creation we have a pair of serpent like beings who created us, then those of the serpent cult must have been their direct descendants, either by blood or by spirit. These are the Chinese serpent gods. And you'll notice that's, yeah, that's the Big Dipper. They obviously had knowledge of the stars. Well, the ancient Chinese emperors say they descended from dragons, so they don't even hide it, really. The influence of Megan, a center of knowledge and power. The next serpent was Enki's son Ningazida, known to the Sumerians, Egyptians, and Tibetans. According to Zachariah Stitchin, who's full of shit, he dwelt in Megan. That's where the term magi comes from. It's tied in with black magic and its origins. Or what is known to us as Egypt, leading theorists to believe Thoth, who formed a mystery school propagating ideas of self improvement and enlightenment, furthering his father's deeds and philosophy. Now, Thoth is not the Thoth, the Atlantean I speak of. I believe he was plagiarized by the Egyptian deity who took the name Thoth and gave himself a bird's head. Yeah, mockery in plain sight. But they are not the same people, and often you'll see a lot of people confuse the two. They are not the same. If Enki and Ning-Gazeta ruled over Magon as is claimed, then that school would have been a beacon attracting all who wished to gain knowledge, backed by the power and might of Megan. Is there any proof to the theory? It was claimed at the Council of Nicaea. The Council of Nicaea are the ones who cut a lot of the stories out of the Bible, specifically the stories dealing with serpent gods or reptilians. How convenient. It isn't like God was trying to hide it. We've been warned, and we were still warned about these entities within the Bible. Lucifer and hell has always been associated with being a reptilian or serpent-like entity. Is there any proof to that theory? It was claimed at the Council of Nicaea that the powers of gods came from Egypt. There was a great white brotherhood named for their raiment, a prominent mystery school in Karnak. I made a video, it's an hour and a half long. I did a lecture on Karnak, and it's called the Crocodile Cult of Caranus, where they actually worship crocodiles in ancient Egypt. So I'll try to get that video back up on YouTube also. A branch of it became the Egyptian therapeutate, who in Judea were known as the Essenes. Jesus, in being an Essene, most likely was initiated in Egypt at this mystery school, rising up the levels until he became a master. That's only theorized. Becoming a master and being initiated into a black magic school, I don't think that's something that Jesus did. Maybe he went to it to see what they were doing there or try to stop it, but remember, he flipped the bankers' tables in the temple. He was not down with idolatry or pagan worship in any way. He was, I believe, came to Earth as a side effect of what was going on in Babylon. Going back to Sodom and Gomorrah. There goes that creature I showed you there. Eventually, the Anunnaki did lose control of Earth and its population. No, they didn't. They're known as the Illuminati. They're still in power, which was rapidly expanding with mankind scattered across the globe, forming their own colonies and social structures. Those who followed the Serpent ideology would have been concerned with maintaining relevance while faced with constant change, new religions, and potential threats to their own land, which was wealthy. To both protect themselves and to encourage people to follow their belief system, they sent out emissaries, quote unquote, the Shining Ones. I have a theory on who the Shining Ones are, the Watchers. I have not made a video on them yet, and I will. I'm very familiar with them. I also believe they are the entities that control the Black Knight satellite, and that is the Arcturians, who are supposedly watching Earth. Yes, I know about the Arcturians. I had a video about them on my first YouTube channel. Um, Obviously, I lost that video. And I made a video about the Black Knight satellite years ago. I'll have to remake that one. And we find tales of these shining ones the world over. To simple hunters and fishermen, they seem like gods. They did not come to conquer the lands, but rather to aid the people, teaching them how to cultivate crops, heal the sick and injured, and read the stars. No, they didn't. They used us as slaves. The Global Serpent Cult, a cultural overview. Numerous ancient cultures throughout the world worship the serpent, beings such as Quetzalcoatl, uh, Kiru Hazidi. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. That's another, yeah, Mayan Aztec name. Yeah, I can do Quetzalcoatl because I've said it enough. And Peru. The Naga King of India. I have a theory about the Naga. They're not. The Naga are water based entities. Possibly some type of water serpent, what you might know as mermaids. And they are actually written about in. Mermaids are written about in Hindu mythology because there is some old stories of them actually trading with people on beaches of all places. And I'll make a video about the Naga. The symbol of the snake in there is also a symbol of water, which is also the symbol of Enki. So it actually kind of makes sense. We also have half human, half fish-like entities in ancient Sumeria. Dagon is one of them, or owns the half Sumerian fish god. So I'm do another. I've been wanting to make a video about the Naga for a while. It's summertime. We need a mermaid video, right? So Pro Nagar in Vietnam, who was their first empress, and the serpent deities who were beautiful women associated with trees and lakes. The snake goddess of Egypt, Wajet, was protector of the land, kings, and women in childbirth. In Manoa, the snake goddess was addressed as Asa Sa Rami and was related to the Hittite Ashara and the Khmer Aspara and Canaanite Asherah. Pre-Christian Ireland, Scotland, and England also worshipped the serpent. Yeah, everyone did. This is one of the older. That's the Minoan snake goddess holding two serpents. It's a fertility type goddess, obviously. However, a visiting figurehead was not enough to cement the serpent cult's position, especially when faced with new religions and kingdoms that were acquiring political and military might. To that end, politically advantageous marriages were arranged with the emerging ruling families. A serpent prince or princess marrying into a family would bring trade, wealth, knowledge on how to form a coherent society, and the secrets known only to the cult, which would be passed down to the resultant children. It was this well of knowledge that gave the new ruling family the advantage over their people and allowed them to claim divinity or superiority over others. Yet most of these marriages did not end happily. King Dwapinbong of Burma had a Naga princess as wife. The capital of Burma, Pagan, had Naga advisors and attendants. In some accounts, after a falling out with his wife, he was said to have been killed by the Nagas. In Laos, the tale of the Naga prince Fengkai, who fell in love with the Khmer princess Akam, wishing to have a glimpse of her but remained incognito, has turned himself into a squirrel, but unfortunately caught and eaten. His father, Naga King, waged war on the kingdom in retaliation, capturing the princess. King Fadeng, who was also in love with her, went to rescue her but was unsuccessful, becoming the Ghost King and continuing the siege of the Naga King's capital. In Cambodia, it was Soma, the daughter of the King Naga, who was captured by the Brahmin priest Kandinya, who then married him. Her father sucked up the water from a swampy land, creating the country of Kampuchea for the couple. And this is how the Naga are depicted. And they kind of, have mermaid tails. And they don't exactly, I mean, it's, I have to make another video about the Naga. And yeah, the rest of it's just talking about the Naga. They're talking about Zeus at Mount Olympus. I've made a video proving that the gods of Mount Olympus are Zeta Reticulan, not Alpha Draconians, Zeta Reticulans, alien grays. That video I'm also going to have to put back on YouTube. I'll show you all their alchemical symbols. And also, when you turn the statue of Zeus in the British Museum upside down, the head, you actually see a Zeta Reticulan alien gray on the head. So that's why I'm not going to read this part here. Oh, well, I did see this part. In Java, there is a story that bears some similarity to the Little Mermaid. That's what I was saying. The Nagas are water serpents. I'll make another video about the Naga. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, if you could support the channel, anything would be appreciated. I'll also put these links, the dragon and serpent, gods of ancient mythology, and a link to this article here. Any questions or comments, leave them below. God bless and take care.